Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Let the Rest Burn. I'm Colleen Nelson, and today I have Rachel Onojafe, our cosmic queen. I cannot wait to dig in with her. We just literally spent the last 28 minutes talking, so y'all just be prepared.
We're like, we should
We're
probably
going to
do the
get
podcast. Like,
yeah, we should probably do it. So I imagine there might be a part two. I'm just going to say that out loud. I'll see if I can get Rachel back in for a part two, but I have a feeling that that is going to be something we need to do. But
I'm in.
Rachel, please tell my audience, who are you? What do you do? What is your gift here upon this one incarnation we are here?
Ooh, big question. I love it. Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel Onojafe, and I run a brand called Cosmic Queen. So you can find me on Instagram, Cosmic Queen HQ. And who am I? Well, I'm from California originally, but I live in England, beautiful England. And I started life, my corporate career as a management consultant in tech. And now I'm an astrologer, human design reader, and identity and business coach. And along the way on that journey, it's been a journey of self-discovery. It's been a journey of realizing what I'm no longer here for. So I love this podcast, let the rest burn. Yes. And a journey of just recognizing what I love and what I'm passionate about. And I'm so passionate about helping to wake people up to who they are, to who they really are, not who they learn to be, to please people, to be quote unquote successful, to try to measure up in some way. For me, it's about removing the layers of BS and really recognizing your passion and how you can fulfill that and truly, as I always say, reach for the stars.
Ooh, this is why I always let my guests introduce themselves, right? Like everyone's like, ooh, full body tinkles as you're listening. I know you can hear it.
Yay. I love
It's
it.
what I love about Rachel. Y'all have heard on this podcast, if you've been a listener for a while, you've heard some human design people on here and you've heard some astrologers on here. But what I love about Rachel is she combines the two.
Mhm.
And that is such a fascinating practice for me. And we're going to dig into that. Um, because I just want to know more about really what got you into the combination of the two and
Oh
what
yeah.
you see.
Mhm.
And for my listeners, if none of you know about human design or astrology, we'll give you some resources in the show notes to kind of deep dive in this, but we might talk a little bit more complex on this
Mhm.
episode. So if
Mhm.
you need to pause it right now and go do a little bit of like research, pause for a moment
Go get your
and
chart.
we'll go get your chart and re-listen because I do want to talk some nuances because I have a lot of people who are really into this that listen. So
Yes.
so Rachel, before we go to our main question about what you had to burn to get here,
Mhm.
tell me a little bit about what really brought you into both astrology and human design within this kind of business identity work that you're doing.
Oh, I love that. I love that question. So, I mean, the seed kind of that from which everything grew was a very difficult Saturn return and a very
Yep.
difficult relationship in a Saturn return. And so a lot of people know around age 30, 28, 29, 30, we have this moment in our lives where it's quite intense. And during that 2 to 3 year period, that's your Saturn return. That's when Saturn, the planet, comes back to where it was when you were born. And it's like, okay, have you learned the lesson of the fact that you are in charge in your life? It's all about personal leadership and authority. That's what the Saturn return is. And so it says, are you in charge? Are you making your own decisions or are you giving your power away? And so from that very difficult, oh yeah, and I had a very difficult relationship to figure that out, but it was
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for it. And so from that I was like, all right, let me go figure out who the heck I am now because this opened my eyes to some things. And so I started learning about the moon cycles first, and that was my
Yes.
gateway. I always love hearing what was people's gateway. So my gateway was the moon cycles and understanding that I'm not the same and I don't have the same energy 24/7, 365. And then, through that, I started understanding more about, my hormones and being a woman and all of these different aspects. And then discovered astrology, which I used to think that astrology, before this time, this was back in like 2016, I thought astrology was just complete, just fantasy. And then I started
Mm-hmm.
learning, oh, there's so many aspects to this. It's so much more complex
Mm.
than a horoscope. Horoscopes are not true astrology, it's
No.
pop astrology. It's just a
It
little bit of
is.
fun, it's just a little bit of fun to get people into it. And it was invented to sell newspapers. So, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get under the hood, it's really about understanding these different aspects of yourself. And then when I discovered human design, which was a couple of years later, really in like late 2017, early 2018, then I realized this whole other aspect, because human design uses astrology. So it's pointing out, it uses the same base plus the chakra system, the I Ching, and the Kabbalah tree of life. So they're all combined in the human design system, which is incredible. So they're reading from the same information, right? The universe. It's like this universal truth about who we are and who we were born to be. But what human design brings is this amazing sense of, how do I do me? So astrology is like,
Mm.
who am I? What are my gifts? What areas of my life are more important versus maybe less important to my overall story? And then human design is like, okay, what's the strategy? So it's a little bit more,
Yes.
you might say, masculine energy. Human design is a
Mm-hmm.
little more masculine energy. It's kind of more of the how to, and it shows you more of how your aura, your energy field interacts with other people's energy fields. And that is
Ooh.
incredibly useful in business. Like, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur my whole life. And I finally got the courage once I started learning about this stuff, because I was like, I have to tell more people and maybe they'll pay me.
Yes.
So
They will pay you.
yeah, they
They
do
will
pay
pay
me.
you.
They do pay me very well, exactly. And so that was kind of the path. And so I started off, I did a wellness events business, and hated that because it was too much effort and not enough money.
Mm-hmm.
But I met amazing
Mm-hmm.
people, and I ended up coaching everyone that I met. And so I was like, well, maybe I'm a coach. So I became a coach, and then I brought astrology and human design in, and it just lit up. Like, people were like, whoa, this is incredible stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, I hope that
Ooh.
answers your question.
It does. I hope so. I would love to get kind of tangible with it if you'll
Yeah,
go on that journey
yeah,
with
I'll
me
give
in
you
a little bit,
examples.
where we can use me, because a lot of my listeners know me pretty well if
Yeah,
we want, but I want to
yeah.
contrast, because you and I we have different human designs, not very
Mhm.
different. We have different moon,
Astrology.
sun, rising, and all
Yeah,
of that. So I think it'd be
yeah.
really cool to have have some tangibility so people can hear
Yes,
and tap into that.
definitely.
So we'll get to that, y'all.
Yes.
Just keep listening to hear some nuance about what does she actually mean in this? What does it look like in real life? How is it tangible? Because as you'll hear Rachel say, like I've gotten into human design quite a bit myself, and astrology, and what I do for a living very much lines up with all of those
Mm,
pieces, which
mhm,
as soon as you hear my stuff, oh, okay, this makes sense.
mm, mhm.
We'll just say Scorpio South Node
Okay, yes,
lined me right up for trauma work. Uh, and with the
I
Scorpio
mean,
South Node, you had
100%.
a lot of trauma in your past. Um, so
Yeah, and you have a deep awareness of
yes,
that in you and in other people. You see under the surface. Yeah.
correct,
Mhm.
exactly. So it, and one of the things I think that's really beautiful about this work, whether you want to take this with a grain of salt or this is how you want to design your life, um, it gives explanations and understanding and different language and different perspectives. And we all need to understand the why a little bit better. I think we're all
Mhm.
seeking that.
Yes.
So, people can seek it through religion or spirituality or whatever it looks like. This is one of those paths. And
Mhm. Mhm.
I love this path because it feels extremely inclusive, not
Yes.
exclusive.
Oh,
And
yes. Yeah.
and that's it's everybody has access to this. Everybody can find something in this, and
Mhm.
you don't have to believe in a certain deity in order to
Mhm.
access this. And so I think, just for those of you that are maybe a little newer to this world, take it for what it is, but have some fun with it,
Yeah.
and get into it. And my favorite thing to do is to pull up my human design app and put like a whole group of people in, and then we just like get after it. It's like a
Yes.
like a dinner party game. Like, tell me a
Yes.
little bit about what that defined heart in your chart
Uh-huh.
feels like, or how
Yes.
does it feel to actually just be in your head all the time? Like it's
Yes. Yes.
so for those of
Hmm.
you that know human design, I think we all have our story, of how it kind of found us and how it illuminated things for us. I
Hmm.
met a woman, I had her on a previous podcast, but I met a woman at Podfest and I
Oh.
did her human design real quick. I don't know why, but for some reason I like literally bumped into her and was like, "What's your human design?" She was like, "I don't know." She's a reflector.
Ah,
And I
yeah.
about died. I literally was like starstruck.
They're so
She's like,
rare. Only one
"Yeah,
point, like 5% of the population. Yeah.
yes." And she was like, "Oh, I feel like a celebrity." I'm like, "You should."
You should. You should. You're
And
very
it
rare.
and now they're like off to the races. Like she and her business partner did it and then they just went all in. I mean, it's really cool to see the ripple effect when
Yes.
people finally feel validated in
That's
ways that
exactly what I was gonna
they
say. Yeah.
have
Mhm.
always felt. Exactly.
It gives you
So,
this validation that, and
yes.
this is what it did for me too, because a lot of things that I thought were wrong about myself or that I thought needed to be fixed, my human design explained that actually these are your gifts. This is your natural way of doing life. And you should celebrate
Yes.
that and stop trying to fit yourself into some other box.
Yes, yes, we're gonna talk about that. I want to come back to that, and I want to hear what yours is. I'll tell you what mine is, and
Yes,
hopefully our audience can kind of feel
absolutely.
into what theirs are here. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me ask my question, and then we'll dive into the tangibility. So, Rachel, in order to be the woman you are today, right now, sitting across from me,
Yes.
what did you have to burn in order to get where you are?
Oh my gosh. So many things, but I think one, I was going to answer another one, but actually it just came through to me. Okay. The
Yes,
biggest
love
thing,
that.
because I was thinking in business, like my transition
Mm-hmm.
from corporate to here, I had to burn a certain thing. But the way you phrase that in life, okay,
Yeah.
like let's get to it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, there's a bigger question. So in life, I had to burn um, self-loathing. That was a
Mm,
huge issue for me. Like I used to
yes.
self-harm, eating disorders,
Mhm,
all the things. And I
mhm.
just thought that the way that I was wrong and needed to be
Yeah.
punished. And when I actually
Yes.
let go of that and I made myself a promise, and I think it was like the last year of college that I would never do it again. And I was
Mhm.
like, I will find another way to release whatever this is
Yes.
inside of me, and I will find a healthier way, and I will learn to love myself, even though I don't know how to do it right
Oof.
now. Like, then everything changed. Everything changed. And
Yes.
I moved to London and I booked my plane ticket my senior year of college. I didn't have a visa, I didn't have a place yet at a college to do my master's. I didn't have a
You're
home.
like,
I booked
I
my plane
get
ticket.
it.
I started trusting myself because until that
Mm.
point, when I made that promise to myself and I started honoring it, I couldn't trust myself because I
Mhm.
only wanted to hurt myself essentially. I was
Mhm.
like, but
Mhm.
then I was like, oh, okay, if I can keep my promises, I can do anything. So let's go for it. So I booked that plane ticket and that was really what I had to burn down. And
Oof.
here we are. Yeah.
I want to pause for a moment and go to this only because the therapist in me is here. But what I want to say, and tell me if this feels true to you or not. Um, I what I love is that shift you made. And for a lot of people it's extremely hard to make that
Oh,
shift.
yeah.
And what I want to remind everybody is, you know, our nervous system craves consistency and
Hmm.
what is known, whether
Hmm.
that's good or bad.
Hmm.
And so what you knew is you could trust yourself to be the first to punish yourself. You
Yes.
would be the one to punish yourself versus someone rejecting you, betraying you, hurting
Yes.
you. If
Yes.
you were the one that was harming, then nobody could harm you. Right?
Exactly.
So it's this armor. Self-harm is often armor. Same with an eating disorder. It's this armor that keeps you out of connection and
Uh-huh.
in disconnection so that you keep
Mhm.
yourself safe from the world.
That's
The
exactly it.
second
Yeah.
the second you step into trusting yourself, it's like you're dipping your toe in the pool of connection again. And you're saying, okay, I'm going to take these little steps. For you is like a couple big ones. I'll be honest. Yours were like
Yeah,
huge leaps, but
I'm
that's
a
okay.
go
We
big or
all do
go
our thing.
home kind of person. So
That's good, girl. I'm same here. Venus and Aries, right? Like I'm like, boop, done. So this is, but what is important is you built trust in a different way. So
Mhm.
you could trust yourself to hurt yourself, right?
Yeah.
That was consistent. You
Oh
knew
yeah.
that was consistent. So in
Mhm.
order to be consistent in the other direction, you have to give your nervous system evidence.
Mhm.
So that requires this, not perfection in any way, shape, or form, but it requires this direction change. And
Yeah.
I think people think that the direction change has to be a 180, and it doesn't. It just has to be a direction change
Mhm.
where your things that you're consistent with are healthy
Yeah.
instead of the things that you're consistent with being unhealthy. And sometimes people strike even where it's like equal amount unhealthy and equal amount healthy. And then they just have to kind of work their way towards the healthy getting stronger and stronger.
Mhm.
But you are a wonderful example of what it looks like to make that pivot and take full ownership of who you are and begin to love yourself,
Mhm.
because it's extremely challenging to go from one place of self-loathing to the other side of self-loving. And I
Mhm.
want
It's a
everyone to know
process.
it is a process. And part of what you did and what I love and I want to bring people back to is understanding who you actually are versus looking through comparison, looking
Mhm.
through our fucked up culture, looking
Mhm.
into these experiences that are not actually giving us truth, but looking towards leaders, mentors,
Yes.
guides, coaches that are going to bring you back home.
Yes.
So I just wanted to highlight that because it's
I
such a
love that.
beautiful journey you had.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. And just reflecting on what you said just then, I think another big thing that helped me so much was changing my environment, because I literally was like,
Yes.
I need to get out of here. Like,
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
not in, it wasn't in a running away kind of way. It was
Mm-mm.
in a, oh my gosh, like I can be a new person in a new place, if that makes
Yes.
sense. And I can
Yes.
start a new phase of my life in a new place. So I've
Yes.
been here for 15 years, and this is where I've grown so strong. I'm living, this is on my Mars line actually in
Oh,
astrology.
there we go.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so I was like taking action. Let's go. Let's be a warrior,
Mm-hmm.
but actually to for what you believe in and what you stand for, and
Mm.
taking care of yourself. And so it was like I discovered this whole new side of me. And Europe just, I love Europe. Like they're so
Mm-hmm.
much more open to people of different body types, different cultural
Yes.
backgrounds. Like they're a lot more. Yeah. So I flourish here. Like, and I
Yes.
gained the confidence that I didn't have back then. So now I can go anywhere.
Oh,
But I kind of needed to switch my environment. I
yep.
think that was a
Mm-hmm.
big help for sure.
Oof.
Yeah.
I love all those pieces. So, for anybody that is currently in that zone, take some of these, see how
Yeah.
it applies to your life, explore some of the human design and the astrology elements to validate maybe the feelings that you're having. And we're going to talk a little bit about it now, but the reason I like that question so much is because it brings the humanness behind the leader. I have a
Mhm.
lot of leaders on this podcast, and I want people to hear like they weren't always this strong. They weren't always this self loving. They weren't always this
Oh yeah.
informed.
Yeah.
We had to burn some shit along the way. I was a
Yeah.
fucking disaster.
No,
If
we're
you had met
real,
me
real
when I was
people.
19,
Like, yeah.
yeah, you would
But
be
that's
like,
why we're good at
how?
what we do,
How?
because we didn't just wake up and read a book about life and coaching. We have lived it, and that's
Yes.
why we're
Yes.
good at what we do. Exactly.
It's so
I love
true.
it.
It's so true. Okay. Okay. So let's get tangible. Let's give some people
Okay,
some
cool.
tangibility here. Okay. So in terms of what you see in whether it's our differences or in my stuff itself, what
Okay.
angle do you want to take to give people some examples here?
Let's look at your human design type first of all. So
Okay.
you are a 2-4 sacral generator, right? And
Correct.
I
Yes.
am a 2-5 emotional manifesting generator. So right there, I see some really important differences between you're a generator and I'm a manigen, right?
Yes.
And manifesting generators are, we like to pivot and do a lot of different things, and we get bored very easily. And we're here to kind of disrupt and be unconventional. And so the idea of like niching for us is like not enjoyable. we're like this is not what we want to do. Like this is not and so when people say you have to work for one person and do one thing, it's like we are the people who like to have multiple streams of income potentially. Yeah, that would be great actually. Or
Yes.
multiple streams going on. That's going to feel really good for us.
Ooh. Okay, so speaking of multiple streams, you're at 7%. Go get your charger and come on back. It will be on the video, but we can cut it out of audio. So go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought I had enough, but I don't. So I will be
Girl,
right.
I'm right there with you. Go get your charger. She's a 7% computer. So we need to make sure she's got her charger because we got a few more things to answer, y'all.
All right.
Welcome
We've
back.
got it. Thank you.
Woo! So I love this the Manny Gen. So anybody that finds out they're a manifesting generator, like this is so important to hear, right? Like not be put in a box, not be told what to do, like really have the freedom to explore so many different avenues. I find so many Manny Gens are they try so hard to just be one thing.
Oh
And
yeah,
they
I tried
just
for years.
it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so
Mhm.
that itself can be so validating. And
Mhm.
so hear that if you're a Manny Gen, like you are meant to do many different things, different avenues, different
Yes.
explorations. Like you are meant to bop around.
Yes, exactly.
So
And it might mean that you have one business where like I'm always thinking about entrepreneurs. So
mm-hmm,
that's kind of how I
mm-hmm.
how I put this into
Yeah,
context.
make it tangible.
But yeah, it might be that you have one business, but you get to do lots of different things in that business, or do have lots of different ways of working with people, or products or services, or you have
Yes.
multiple businesses, or you have a business and you have lots of hobbies, right? But you just
Yes.
can't be bored with what you're doing because that's going to kill it. Because so much of your business needs to be built actually on your excitement and joy and passion. And if you're not
Yes.
feeling that, we're not feeling that, you have a welcome and enveloping aura, so we feel everything that you that you feel. And it's the same for generators. You also have a welcome and enveloping aura, but there's a slight difference in the
Mm.
way that that energy wants to flow. So instead of flowing in lots of different directions, it likes to kind of hone in, and we like to think of it as mastering something. So generators
Yes.
in general, of course, there's a lot of nuances here with your profile line. So if you're a 3-5 generator, you're going to be really different from Colleen, who's a 2-4 generator. So that's going to be a different vibe. But the classic generator is going to want to master what they do. So
Yes.
getting a degree, a certification, really
Mm-hmm.
going deep into something that they're doing is going to really light them up and give them a lot
Mm-hmm.
of confidence. And they'll enjoy that. And then they get to
Mm-hmm.
be also seen as a master in their field. And that's also really important for them. So that's really key for generators. But similar to manifesting generators, they need to be lit up by what they do. That
Yes.
creativity and that energy will not come unless they're lit up. And what I see, unfortunately, is a lot of generators who are highly capable, because I think this is like capability is a huge gift of
Mm-hmm.
generators and manifesting generators. Highly capable, throw them anything, they will, oh, okay, I'll figure it out, right? Like they'll just figure it out. But
Mm-hmm.
the problem is that they are so capable that a lot of times people, especially I'm thinking in like a corporate context, will just pile
Yes.
work on them, and then they'll be like, okay, and they just want to get it done, because
Mm-hmm.
they just have this thing in them that's like, okay, I just want to get it done. And so they can burn out because they're doing
Yes.
too much that's not related to their passion, or they're doing too
Yes.
much that's not related to their dream because they have this caretaking thing. They want to take care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something just to be aware of. If you're a generator or a manifesting generator, you have a lot of energy, but it's got to be used for what you enjoy.
Oh, it's so important. And I think I resonate with that so much as a
Mhm.
generator. My mastery, of course, for me, I love deep diving into training certifications and more awareness around trauma, and in particular trauma in the body.
Mm,
So I've loved that, and anything related to that, and healing people around that has been
yeah.
so powerful for me. But I often find, and this comparison thing, this is really important for those of you when you're working with or alongside those that are different designs.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to be comparing and contrasting. I work alongside a lot of Manny gens. And
Mm,
so I feel like I should always be creating these new programs and always creating these workshops and always creating these new offers, when really I need to just have one or two very strong signature
mm-hmm.
offers
Mm-hmm.
that people can know and get to know. So that's something I've been actually burning over the last couple of years, is what is it that I actually want to do, right? I
Mm-hmm.
want to do one-on-ones, and I want to do retreats with group work. Like that's
Yes.
what I want to do. I want to
Yes.
have one signature course that people are like, this is
Yes.
amazing.
Having a
But I created
signature.
18. Everyone's like, what are you doing now, Colleen? I'm like, I'm trying to be a Manny Jen, and like it's,
I
but
totally get it. Yeah.
it's so important. And
Yes.
my team is full of manifestors, so they come in with these
Oh,
crazy
oh
ideas
my
and are like, you
goodness.
should do
Crazy
this,
idea.
and I'm like, okay, and then it's all over the place.
Yes. Yes.
So this is where it's like, it helps you say no, it helps you with boundaries, it helps you
Yes.
say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I get lit up, y'all. I get lit up by sitting on my porch and literally doing nothing but daydreaming about marrying Jason Momoa.
Oh my God. I just
I know.
saw the Fast and Furious 10. Oh my God, he's the best part of the whole movie. Can just but he's the best part.
He's the best part. Let it be known, I'm announcing it on this podcast. Jason Momoa and I are gonna end up together.
Amazing.
He it's
Amazing. Yeah.
rumor has
I
it
can
he
see
is
that.
building a home in Fort Collins, where I live, actually,
No. Are you
because
serious?
he lived
It's
here
gonna
for a
happen.
bit.
We're gonna look
I
back on
think
this
so.
episode and we'll be like, oh, we knew.
We knew. Jason will be like, that's creepy. That's
I know,
creepy, babe.
maybe we'll
But I
do a
love
dream
you.
episode.
He's well, we'll see, but that's what lights me up. And thoughts will creep in, and this is another piece, y'all. If you are in a place where you're being lit up by literally doing nothing but daydreaming, and then the thought creeps in that you should be doing the dishes, or you should be creating
Mm,
content, or you should be posting something and selling, or you should be, that is where things get off, because then you step out of this place of power and creativity and spaciousness, and you
yeah.
step into doing. And
Yes.
this can really sidetrack you. And so I
Very
think
much.
this is where the power of human design is so important, to
Mm-hmm.
help you be like, no, it is okay. And it's actually part of my work to
Yes.
sit and daydream.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
especially for me as a 2/4, like, I have to have that. So as it's like my
Solo
two line, right?
time. This is your
I
two.
have
Yes.
to.
It's part of your
And
process of your
oof,
genius, because two lines, if you have a
yes,
two in your profile, I think of it as it's this like genius thing going on. And
yes,
it doesn't work when you force it. So you have to allow it and make space for it. And that might look different
yes.
for everyone. For you, it's your porch. For me, it's like meditation in a quiet room alone, like,
Mm,
and with my all my crystals, like it's
yes.
but you've got to have alone time. It's called the hermit for a reason. But
Yes.
incredible art comes from that place. So,
Yes. Oh, I totally agree with you.
mhm.
Okay, so I want to leave everybody a little bit on a cliffhanger. Number one,
Okay,
because I want you to go hire Rachel to do your reading. So I'm just going to say that out loud. Like,
please
I
do.
want,
Yes.
so if you are like, ooh, I want to know more, I want to know more,
Hmm.
please go check out on Instagram. We'll put everything in the show notes, but please
Yeah.
go check her out. And you like, I still need you to do my reading, and it is
I
coming.
know it's gonna happen.
I still can't believe I haven't done it. Partly because I legitimately have not had the time, but I I think that this is such a huge piece, and she has such a beautiful way of looking at this, and I'm so excited to see where you go and how you expand.
I've
And
got big
um
plans. Oh yeah,
oh,
it's all happening.
I feel it. I feel
Yeah.
it. And, this is something that's so powerful. And for those of you that want more of her, she's definitely going to be a guest speaker in one of my retreats coming up. Hopefully, I'm
Yay!
going to buy everybody a reading. That's my goal. And then, I think that please explore your identity, explore what makes you tick. And
Mm.
Rachel, what do you have coming up besides obviously the individual readings? Is there anything that you want people to look for that you're launching soon? Pay attention. This is going
Mm.
to be posted in
Yeah.
like July. So July time.
Okay, in July. Amazing. Thinking ahead to July. So I will likely be doing a lot of confidence work then. So I'm
Ooh.
putting together some plans, bringing together human design and confidence, because my whole thing is identity, leadership, and confidence. And so
Yes.
it's Leo season that this is probably going to be coming out
Yes.
in, right? And so Leo is so much about being seen, and so, if you want to do work with me around being seen, around your brand, around your confidence, around
Mm.
stepping into the next level of leadership, like this is such a big thing for me. So look out for some programs that are going to be coming soon. I don't want to say exactly what they are, but they're going to be
Yes.
amazing. And I also have a constellation community where this is
Mm.
my very affordable monthly membership where people can come in and learn how to work with the transits, because a lot of people don't know there are
Yes.
human design transits as well as astrology, because it is astrology. And so your
Yes.
chart is lit up at different times of the year in different ways. So yeah, if
Mm.
you're interested in joining that membership, let me know. There's a wait list right now. Yeah, there's some amazing stuff coming up. Just stay tuned, and I would love to meet all of you. Say hi to me on Instagram. I answer DMs, so not too hard to get a
Yay.
hold of. Yeah.
Oh, Rachel, it has been a pleasure, and we'll dive in more. I think I'll
Mhm.
ask the audience
There's so
too when I
much
post
more.
this what
Yeah.
they want to know, and then we'll do another one.
Okay.
Maybe during the fall, which would be perfect because we'll kind of
Yes.
transition into these next spaces.
Perfect.
So for all of you listening, remember to step into your full self and let the rest burn. Be inspired by these speakers, but also know that everybody's journey is different. And I cannot wait to see you on the next go around. Rachel, thank you so, so much.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you.